Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be a book tag video. I'm going to be doing the 20 questions book tag. So if you want to also participate, feel free to answer in the comment section. But yeah, it's a pretty old tag, but I looked at the questions and I was interested. So let's go through it. Question number 1. How many books in a book series is too many books? Oh, real talk, usually more than one. I can't be the only one that feels that way. I feel like too often book series feel so stretched in order to make more money, and I'm not accusing the authors or anything. It's probably, publishing companies wanting to try and get as much as they can from it. But quite frankly, a lot of book series should have been a standalone book. But if we're really talking about series, duologies might be a good idea. In my head, a perfect length would probably be a trilogy. I feel like it's just average. It's not too long, it's not too stretched out, it's not too short. You can get usually as much info as you actually want in it. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it makes sense to make them longer, like Harry Potter, 7 years of school, 7 books. It made sense. But too often it just feels like there's like 300 pages of fluff in the middle, like nothing happens, and then there's something that happens at the end because they want you to buy the next book, which just annoys me. So yeah, trilogy is probably ideal, but that's after a standalone. Standalone is the perfect length. Make it 500 plus pages if you need to, but like make it one book. See, question number 2. How do you feel about cliffhangers? I don't like them. I feel like they're usually badly done. Yes, they make you want to read the next book, but usually I get very, very frustrated and then I don't want to. But I do find that sometimes it's well done. Like, for example, I'm thinking Brandon Sanderson, he tends to usually give you a chunk of info at the end of a book. And sometimes it is a bit cliffhanger-ish, but usually you get enough info, you're satisfied enough that it doesn't feel like I've been, robbed or anything, and that I'm feeling cheated, which is what makes the difference for me in like really being excited about the next book and then just being frustrated. So yeah, I don't like cliffhangers because I think they're just overly done and badly done. Number 3, hardbacks or paperbacks? Paperbacks, the big floppy ones. This is what happiness sounds like to me. This is what I love. I feel like hardbacks are just so heavy and like, yes, they look nice on your shelf and everything, but then you have the little paper on top that you're just gonna lose or break, or if you let anyone touch it, they're gonna lose or break it. So yeah, paperbacks all the way. Question number 5, least favorite book. We're gonna do like 2020, and I know we're very early, but still. In 2020, my least favorite book that I've read so far, 5 Feet Apart. But to be honest, it feels like it's almost cheating because I kind of knew I wasn't going to like it. So let's go with something else. My second least favorite book that I've read so far this year, which was a huge disappointment, for sure it's going to be in my worst or most disappointing books of the year, Middle Game by Shannon McGuire. I thought I was going to love this because I had just read book 4 in the We Were Children series by her, and it's my favorite book that I've read by her so far. The writing is just amazing. The world just spoke to me. I was so happy to finally get like a full-length novel because that's usually my complaints about that series. They're like 200 pages. So I wanted a big book, and that's what you get with this one. I struggled so hard to finish it. I read it as an audiobook, and first off, some of the voices, horrible. I don't even know why I pushed through, but I did. And after an hour, it gets fine. You get other characters, but like the voices were bad. And then the world, just like the magic system, I guess, is interesting, but like the world is so vague and I don't really care for the characters. I didn't care about anything. And I just struggled to finish it just because I'm stubborn and I really wanted to like it, but it just kind of sucked actually. Question number 6, love triangles, yes or no? In theory, I don't hate them. In practice, though, I hate them. I feel like too often I've seen them being like so unequal. Like there's no competition. It's like the guy and then like the best friend, for example. And you're like, this is not cool. Like I'm not liking this. There's like no love triangle happening here. So yeah, I would say no because they usually suck. But sometimes they're well done. So I'm not completely opposed to them, but usually I am. The most recent book you just could not finish. I'm gonna actually try and finish it, so I don't know if it counts, but I need to talk about it because it's like weighing on my poor little heart. The Secret Commonwealth by Philip Pullman. I thought I was going to give this book 5 stars, and I have been reading it for 3 months now. I just can't push myself to read it. It's boring. I'm so mad about this because I love Is Dark Materials, the first series in that world. And then he came out with this second series, the first book being like a prequel and then this one being after. And ever since I read that trilogy as a kid, I've been wanting to see after, just wanting to get more of the characters. And I can't do it. I just can't do it. So yeah, I will, I think, finish it this year, but I don't know when, so it doesn't really count, but I'm making it count. So I can't be the only one. I hope some of you read it and feel the same because damn, I'm struggling. It never takes me 3 months to read a book, let's be real. Number 8, a book you're currently reading. I'm reading a bunch. As I'm filming this, I am currently listening to the audiobook of Countryside by Robert Jackson Bennett, which so far I'm enjoying. The magic system seems interesting. I'm not sure I enjoy where the story's going, but I'm hopeful. But to be honest, I'm always in the middle of a couple books. So there's also Crown of Midnight, which I am doing a vlog for, and then The Secret Commonwealth that I mentioned. So I'm always in the middle of a couple books, but yeah, the main one right now is definitely Countryside. I'm about 50% into it, and I thought I was going to give this 5 stars, and I don't think it is going to be 5 stars right now, but again, fingers crossed. Question number 9, the last book you recommended to someone. Technically, it's a short story that you can find online, and I highly recommend you do so. The Egg by youre, the author of The Martian. It's a really, really fun short story, and it's like a lot deeper than you would expect, and it's sci-fi-ish, so it's like right up my alley. I highly recommend it, and the person did like it a lot, so it was a good recommendation. But yes, that's definitely the last book I've recommended. Question number 10, oldest book you've read since on BookTube. We're gonna add this little asterisk. According to my Goodreads, it is Emma by Jane Austen, which was published in 1815, so pretty old. I'm not sure it's the oldest book I've ever read, but I mean, ever since on BookTube it is, and it was good. I highly recommend also watching is it the BBC TV show? Really, really good. I enjoyed it. I mean, her characters are a little bit silly, and they're meant to be, and her writing is beautiful. I definitely really enjoyed it, so that was a thumbs up for me for sure. And then 11, the newest book you've read. It was number 5 in the Wayward Children series by Shannon McGuire, which is Come Tumbling Down, which I have such a complicated relationship with this series. I was mentioning how book 4 is my favorite. I love it. It's a standalone. You can read it on its own. But this is the 5th one, and you need to have read 1, 2, 3 to read it. But you can also read number 2 as a standalone. But if you want to continue, you have to have read the other ones. 4 is just like out of nowhere in there. I want to like the worlds more than I am liking them. It's actually linked to the book 2, the same characters, and I didn't really care for them. So there is definitely more action in this one, the one thing I was complaining, so there's that. But because it's not the world or the characters I'm into, I kind of felt a little about the whole thing. So yeah, quick read anyway. She definitely has great imagination to create those worlds, but meh. Question number 12, favorite author. I hate answering the questions. I hate choosing favorites. Let's just go with Brandon Sanderson just because I talk about him a lot, but I don't know if I would call him my favorite of all time, but whatever. Question number 13, buying books or borrowing books? Both. I buy most of my books used at my library sale mostly, and then I use my library a lot. I did my stats videos, and then I also compared to the past years. I'm using my library more than ever. About 50% of the books that I read last year were from my library, so I'm very happy with that number. I will definitely try and keep that up. Question number 14, a book you dislike that everyone else seems to love. Shit. Where do we begin? Well, I don't think everyone loves it, but Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo last year won the Fantasy Award on Goodreads, and I really did not care for it. So, and right now it still has a 4-point-something rating on Goodreads, so that's definitely a strong one there. I feel like they're all books that like most people liked, but not really. Like Warcross or The Cruel Prince, which everyone is talking about right now because book 3 came out. So there are quite a few, but I feel like right now they're like kind of all like hit and miss. I feel like people come out later on and admit that they didn't like it, or more people read it and they don't like it. So yeah. 15, bookmarks or dog ears? Really? Bookmarks. I'm not a monster. Number 17, can you read while hearing music? Yes, as long as there are no sentences or lyrics, that's the word I was looking for, in it. I like using like relaxing music or whatever, or like the Harry Potter ones, like the train one. I love that one. That's fun in the background. It's very relaxing, but no lyrics. Otherwise, I can't deal. Number 18, one point of view or multiple point of views. I don't tend to notice these things that much, to be honest. I only do whenever it sucks. You know, when there are too many. Like I had mentioned that for V.E. Schwab, her Shade of Magic trilogy, the last book, way too many point of views that were like super pointless. So I don't mind multiple, just not too many. I also don't mind just one. Number 19, do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? It has been a while since I've read a whole book in one day. And I say that, and I probably did a 24-hour readathon not that long ago, but no, I feel like it's been a while. So I usually tend to read them over multiple days and multiple books at the same time, put them down, pick something else up. Yeah, I read a good amount every day, but I don't tend to just read a whole book in a day. I haven't done that in too long. I feel like I need to like force myself to do this. I have a few different challenges that are coming up during the year, so maybe I will have a chance to do that. But a whole book, like a big book in a whole day, like, you know, when you got like Harry Potter, the newest book, you would try and read the whole thing in 24 hours. I used to try and do that. I haven't done something like that in forever because I don't, like, I like books, the books that I'm reading, but like none of them are just so amazing that I have to put my whole life on pause. I want that. I need that, actually. And then number 20, who do you tag? All of you. Obviously, if you have a booktube channel, feel free to do the same thing. If you don't, again, feel free to answer any of the questions that are interesting to you or just reply to some of the ones that I chose. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out. And I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye. By the way, if you have any recommendations on a book tag you would like me to do, again, just leave a comment.